Is Nomi Prins. She joins me live from Los Angeles. She's also the author of It Takes a Pillage: Behind the Bonuses, Bailouts, and Backroom Deals from Washington to Wall Street. So before becoming an author, she worked on Wall Street. So first, your take on this testimony today, Jamie Dimon.
Thanks, Brooke. Well, basically, the testimony showed a lot of posturing around the notion of regulations, the Volcker Rule, and what should be a more systemic type of regulation for the banking industry. And on those answers, Jamie Dimon was trying to help the people, the senators that wanted to have less regulation on the institution and on the industry. The problem with that is the $2 billion loss, which I should point out doesn't matter in the scheme of J.P. Morgan Chase's balance sheet. As it was said, they made $19 billion last year, and Jamie Dimon said throughout the course of his testimony, hey, they made more before they lost the $2 billion. And plus, we don't even know that it's $2 billion.
Is that just what it is? It's just such a minor, chunk of change, Nomi. When we talk $2 billion, have we just become so accustomed to big losses, perhaps, also that people shrug this off? I'm just curious. I feel like there's a dearth when it comes to outrage.
Well, that's the thing. There isn't enough because, again, the fact that we can look at this as small, which I was getting at, is really not the point. The point is it could have been bigger. It can be bigger. The gain can be bigger. But the fact that the risk is being taken and that it is being taken because this institution and other ones like it has the benefit of a lot of our money of deposits underlying the risks that they take, that's the problem. The size, if it's a good day or a bad trading day, that should scare us. A $9 billion win or a $2 billion or $5 billion loss back to back, that is scary.
Let me play a little exchange. This is from today's hearing, obviously. This is between Senator Bob Menendez and Jamie Dimon. Take a look.
When I mentioned the anti-American thing, I was talking about between Dodd-Frank and Basel, things which were being skewed against American banks. And, the American banks can't have preferred stock like the foreign banks can have. American banks can't do qualified mortgages.
Did you not specifically say, as part of your un-American comment, that the requirement for banks to hold more money was un-American?
I did not.
Well, I'd be happy to look at that again. I think you might want to review that. What your bank has been lobbying extensively against is the very types of protections that at the end of the day can guarantee that the American taxpayer doesn't become responsible.
To your point there, Nomi talking about the American taxpayer, but, Jamie Dimon says, look, times are tough for American banks. You agree?
American banks have had a tremendous amount of support from the Federal Reserve, from zero interest rate policy. It's Americans who, even if we have money in deposit accounts, in savings accounts, are getting no interest. So even the ones that can save aren't getting anything on it, whereas banks can take this capital and the deposits and make these risky bets in order to, and this was the crux behind what Jamie Dimon was just saying in that point, in order to compete globally. And his definition of competing globally is to have as few regulations as possible on the U.S. banking system so that it can do what it wants to globally, which puts not just the U.S. taxpayer and depositor at risk, but the entire international citizenry.
I mean, you use the words pillage and heist. Is that what's happened, that American taxpayer has been pillaged, our mortgages, our 401ks?
Yeah, our money in all those modes, and the fact that we can't retain any interest on our money because of the policy that's supporting the banking system, which is as risky as it is. Let's not forget the derivatives, the most risky type of thing that the banking system accumulates is 20% higher today, 20% higher than it was before the 2008 crisis. So the risk is inflating. The pillage or the heist that I talk about from the American people, it's not just the bailout. That is one thing. It's zero interest rate policy that allows the banks to fund these types of transactions but doesn't funnel through to the American public, not in interest to savings account and not in a lot of mortgage restructuring.
Nomi Prins, author of It Takes a Pillage: Behind the Bonuses, Bailouts, and Backroom Deals from Washington to Wall Street. Nomi, thank you.